All right, good evening. We can get started and call the meeting to order, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I know it was difficult to come inside when it's so beautiful outside, so thank you again. Roll call, Mr. Lundberg.
Allen.
Yes.
Odie. Yes. Saxer. Yes. Scott is absent. Bell.
Yes.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Conflict of interest disclosure or waiver requests. I don't believe there are any tonight. Takes us to community input, and I'm not seeing anybody from the community at this time. That takes us to our general business item under oral reports. Good news report from Brandon Valley High School.
All right. Let me get this organized. Well, thank you. I could have had probably 20 different people come up here and speak on the number of different things that we're going to talk about tonight, but I kind of spared all of them and said I would kind of convey a little bit of the message of what we've been doing, some of the great things we've been doing at Brandon Valley High School. But I'll start with the 20-day warning. Graduation is Sunday, May 12th. As school board members, we obviously would love to have you in attendance, and I'll communicate further details as that gets closer, but same drill as we've always done in the past there. Which leads me to the vision of a graduate, which we encompass at all of our buildings, but it's really true at the high school where we try to have students really come in, learn how to lead, learn how to learn, and learn how to serve, and the power of serving, whether that's serving classmates, serving fellow community, or just different ways to serve in the power of that. So we're going to encompass all of that in there today, as I think we do great things at every level that lead to success, and when they're crossing that stage, we have a whole human being that can go out and be successful. Which leads me back to 2018 when I was fortunate enough to take over this current position that I'm in, and the strategic plan that Dr. Larson is currently, we're working through right now. And that's a document that I refer to. And one of the things, when I was fortunate to get this job, I came to the strengthening school, family, and community engagement, specifically community engagement. Thought we were really good academically. I thought we excelled academically. And I wanted to stay grounded to our academic traditions, to learning, but enhance students' learning through authentic educational experiences. So it's been a focus of our admin team and our group of counselors in the office. So I wanted to share a little bit on how we're achieving that, and specifically I'm kind of zoning in on 1 week of the year. I told a fellow colleague that my good news report was on the stuff surrounding state testing week, and he's like, oh, that's gonna go awful. But we really surround testing by having an academic portion and then an authentic experience portion is kind of how we've modeled it over the last few years. And I really feel like we've tweaked it into a great system. The one avenue we didn't or can't do is our juniors have to test both of those days. So they really weren't getting an experience. So we were searching for an experience for just them that maybe the other students didn't get. And Mission Day came across my desk. This is a partnership with the South Dakota National Guard, but Mission Day is a nationwide, initiative, and we were the first school in South Dakota to be able to experience Mission Day, which was kind of cool. What is it? It's a unique event that all of our juniors got immersed into 4 different challenges, or missions, is what I would say, and I want to get this right. On the upper right-hand corner there, depending on where you are, but in the upper corner is night vision rescue. So they had to go through a rescue simulation. A group of students had to work together. Over here, up in this corner, or down in this corner where the CPR is, that is a field clinic. So VR, virtual reality, students were working like they were in a field clinic performing CPR. And you can see there's technology on their wrists too. So they got feedback from that. We had a hazmat cleanup. That was probably one of the more interesting ones that students kind of enjoyed. And then additionally, we had a VR firefighting. So they were in a forest fire, and then the fire would change, and they would have to adjust, and they would have to look out for their colleagues and things like that. So real-life experiences that may not be directly related to what career they are, but might spark an interest, which is kind of one of those goals. So this was done a week before testing, and we got positive feedback from our juniors. Some were thinking mission, and then they show up and see our entire gym transformed into an amazing thing. So I want to thank the National Guard for coming in and doing that and exposing our students to that. Another cool note, Rick is not here, our testing coordinator, but 100% of our juniors have tested. And in a school our size, that is an amazing feat to have that done to that level. Now we're going to shift to the testing days for everybody else. So let's start with freshmen. Once again, academic portion, authentic experience portion. So Cyber Roadshow, I got to thank Dakota State University for coming in and doing this. Just so you kind of know, they have done the Cyber Roadshow on a smaller scale. We said, can we do all of our freshmen in one day? And we're talking 350 plus kids. And they said, well, we'll try to make it work, because if we can scale this, we can do this at other schools. They invested $25,000 to $30,000 more into the equipment they brought in. They will use again at other schools, but they committed that to us in order to do this experience. Our freshmen got to experience many different things, many different sessions, like wireless. How does your device connect to the wireless network? How does that work? How does your computer? Why do passwords and Wi-Fi matter? So they got to do hands-on exploration on those little things, and it really sparked their interest. The student in the blue shirt in the corner, it's called soldering. So they got to take items and create in the bottom, that group photo, the light. So they created that from scratch through a couple activities they did during the day. This group in the corner here is all of the webbing of the internet. And so they had to do a bit of a project through that to understand that. But many different things in the cybersecurity world. DSU brought their entire computer science faculty and students down to assist with this, so they helped lead our students. So really, really cool day, and thank them. The other portion of their day was the 8-9 ACT. So that was the day 2. And that's going to become extremely important, because this current freshman class, their Smarter Balanced test gets switched their junior year to the ACT test. Unless things change, that's what the state has notified us on, that this current freshman class will take the ACT, all of them, as the junior test. So pre-ACT, I thank Mr. Lundberg and the school board, because you guys approved all of our freshmen and sophomores to take that. We had an inclination, Dr. Larson and I, that this might be coming down the pipeline. And so we wanted to get ahead of the curve, and we believe we are. Late today, we got the results of this pre-ACT test in. We will now group those. The students will get their answer sheet, their test, how they scored, their strengths, their weaknesses. They get to take that physical copy home and share that with their parents or guardians. We also get school-wide data that will drive data decisions as far as curriculum and maybe what some of our weaknesses are to give our students the best chance to be successful. So really cool thing there. Freshmen were all in. Now, as we move to our sophomore experience, this is something we've done for 3 years and we really like, but our goal with the sophomore experience is to expose them to post-secondary options that we just have in our area. So one day, half of the sophomores are doing the 10th grade pre-ACT. The other half are out in the community or out on these tours. The tours were Southeast Technical College, the Augustana University, and the National Guard. And that's a full day experience. They leave in the morning and they're gone all day and didn't get back till about 2:30. So the goal there, hands-on activities at Southeast Tech, along with National Guard, tour of Augustana University campus, just meet with some of their professors, and just students being able to ask questions on post-secondary options. Then we move to our seniors, and everybody says, well, the seniors, they're done, they don't have anything to worry about. They take what's called the National Career Readiness Certificate test, NCRC. That is a partnership between the South Dakota Department of Labor and Regulation and the South Dakota DOE. So that is a free test that all of our seniors take. That does play a role in our school performance index. We were one of the first schools to sign on to have all of our seniors take it, and everyone's followed suit once they found out the positive impact of that. Those results, we found out you can get 4 different certificates, differing levels, and then or no certificate. We found out that only 12 of our students didn't earn a certificate, which is impeccable, but over 52% of our students were platinum or gold, the top 2, well above the state average, and this is a work-based test. So we know we're great at academics, but this is, are you work ready? So that's a pretty cool feature that we achieve at a high level academically, and we are work ready. The second day is a big day in my world for the seniors. Before they leave, I believe that we need to empower them a little bit. So we have created a day to give back to the community and the school that's given them so much over the years. I can't take full credit for Give Back Day. That was an idea of Kimmer Conan back in 2018, 2019. She had a senior that year, and she thought this would be a cool way maybe to replace the traditional senior retreat. That was my first year in this role, and as many of you remember, that spring was COVID. So Give Back Day never happened. We had it organized. Then Kim had twins coming on board, and they graduated a year ago. And so that's when we brought Give Back Day powerful. What it is, we have 300 seniors here in this picture. They went out and served the community with 13 different opportunities to give back, from going to the elementary schools, Helping Hands, Buddies & Co., Union Gospel Mission, Feeding South Dakota. So you can imagine 13 different opportunities. Within those was cleaning all the city parks. So there's like 5 or 6 opportunities within the one. That group up there on top was about 24, 25 senior parents, along with some of our staff that assisted. So it took 30 plus volunteers to go out with all of the students to the different opportunities. Cool stories, and I'm only gonna say 1 or 2 because I know I'm well over my time. A group went to Brandon Elementary, okay? And we sent some of our senior ELL, English Language Learner students down there. And it just, our staff member was down there, almost was brought to tears because Mr. Horst found them and said, okay, you guys are English language learners, you know Mirtha? Yep. He paired them up. They went into an elementary room, and when you walked in, those students were reading books in Spanish, Ukraine, and 3 or 4 different languages to those students, and they just made their day. So pretty amazing experience for those kids. And then everyone got one last Jolly Rancher for Mr. Horst when they were done. Another story was a neighbor by Pioneer Park saw that there was 15 kids out cleaning that Pioneer Park and just said, hey, can I pay you guys someone to come here? All of our kids said nope, and they all went and cleaned his yard. And so story after story, another veteran who couldn't do his lawn work came out and told stories about his service and how he appreciated them serving. So lots of cool things with Give Back Day. You go to the next slide, you can see some pictures, Dr. Larson. And I'm only touching on a couple stories there, but you can see the different places we went. That's the Valley Springs group in the top corner. That group was really excited to go back. Buddies & Co., Union Gospel Mission, so lots of different opportunities. Lastly, not related to testing week but related directly to community engagement is the Career Spotlight that came out of the Brandon Career board that I am on. It was an idea, and then Brady Olson, you know how Mr. Olson is, he takes ideas and he makes them come true. And so this is Career Spotlight, which we've done I think 5 or 6. So this is team time. So we have that little sliver of time before kids go to lunch. So all of our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors got to get a spotlight of a business or a career opportunity right here in our community. The only stipulation I have is they must be within the Brandon Valley School District in order to come in and present. But we've had Sioux Valley Energy, Neighborhood Dental, Marmon, Avera Health, Ambush, Oak Ridge have been different places that have come in. And we're not gonna spark the interest of every kid, but every single presentation has led to kids coming up and having individual conversations about a potential career path with the individual speaking. So, in closing, this takes everybody. to do this. This is not me. This is me facilitating all the hard work that our staff has done, from the office staff, counselors, administrators. It's, to pull it off, it's a lot of planning, and I think we did a great job this year. On top of that, David Moody in transportation, holy buckets. When I call, he's like, what do you need now? Well, I want to take all of my sophomores throughout Sioux Falls, and can you make that happen? SAC lunches were provided. So Mrs. Cruz and her staff, amazing job with those lunches to pull off that field trip. So truly takes us all. Proud of what we do and what we expose our students to. I would field any questions, and I went over my time.
I don't think we have any questions. I just think, thank you very much for everything that you guys do. This is very impressive, and I'm not sure that there are many schools out there that can do something like this, so very grateful that you guys do this for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent's report, Superintendent Larson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a few items to update the board on here this evening. I just want to note we continue to review, evaluate, and revise our strategic plan or work through that respective process. We just note that our family and community community survey has been disseminated. It's available on all of our school district websites for community folks. Link has been supplied directly to our respective families, and then I will communicate with the chamber and work with them to try and help push it out community-wise as well. So just know that process continues. The FY25 budget process continues to roll. We are in the process of evaluating and putting together all of those respective items. Important to note, as has been previously shared, our general fund budget for this fiscal year is reflective of those cuts and hard decisions we made. So that's running good. I would note that the SPED budget is running hot, as we previously discussed. So just note that will be reflective not only for this year, for the potential for supplementing the budget for FY24, but it'll also be reflective in what's presented for FY25. So just an item to note. You can expect to see that in May. In July, we'll hold that public hearing and have potential action. Our staff recognition banquet is on Tuesday, May 7th at 6 p.m. Please note that, as we'd like to have you attend. That has our District Teacher of the Year program, years of service recognition, as well as celebrating our retirements. Our last good news of the good news report will be Mr. Skibsted and the Brandon Valley Intermediate School here at our second meeting in May. And then, as Mr. Schleckaway noted, high school graduation is on May 12th. The last day for students is on May 23rd. I believe that's a 2-hour early dismissal. And then May 24th is services as a half-day workshop. In addition to that, I would just note that central office, we have re-engaged the design team for the East Side Elementary, so we've started those conversations back up. Tentatively, what we are looking at is releasing bids after the 4th of July weekend, opening bids in early August with an approval at an August board meeting. So you can see about what that timeline is starting to shape up like. So with that, certainly all I have at this point in time, but would field any questions that you may have.
One on the East Side School, you approve the cost of it. When would you start scratching the ground?
I would guess,
Fall,
yeah, fall, end of August, beginning of September. Like I said, tentatively we hope to approve a bid at the first meeting in August. That's our hope. After you approve, they mobilize. It takes a little bit, so I would anticipate we would start to see action out there end of August, beginning of September.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Larson. No board policy tonight. That takes us to general business. The first item, to approve the purchase and 7-year adoption of the junior K to 12 social studies curriculum delivery model at a one-time cost of $553,933.50, effective the 2024-2025 school year as presented.
Good evening. Yes, this is to identify the JK-12 Social Studies curriculum delivery model. We'll start first with a brief process overview. We formed our review committee in the summer of 2023. There were committee members from all buildings and all grade levels, representatives from the departments of Special Services, English Learners, and Technology. In the fall of 2023, vendors presented to our committee members. Most of these presentations were virtual. March of 2024, after the teachers made their selections, a parent committee provided feedback on their selections. And that brings us to April today, where we're presenting our proposal to the school board. If approved, in May of 2024, professional development will begin. July of 2024, we'll order our new materials. Fall of 2024 will be partial implementation of the new standards and new materials, with full implementation taking place in the fall of 2025. That would be right on schedule with the Department of Ed's recommendation, mandate, to implement in the fall of 2025. So now we'll look into the details of the proposal. The junior kindergarten teachers selected Scholastic's magazines as their model, and this will cover both the social studies adoption as well as next year's science adoption. Those are both print and digital. The elementary schools in January of 2024 piloted the national version of Studies Weekly, and we piloted the digital version of the national version. In March of 2024, the South Dakota Department of Ed announced a partnership with Studies Weekly to develop a specific social studies curriculum for South Dakota. The pilot that we did had favorable results for the national curriculum, and we were prepared to supplement that. But when the Department of Ed announced that partnership with Studies Weekly for the South Dakota version, we were very excited about that, especially when we found out that it would be offered to districts at no charge. So for 6 years, they will provide their curriculum at no charge to the district. Brain Pop is a supplemental animated videos. They're short videos that will supplement teachers' instruction, and they've asked for that as a supplemental resource. At the intermediate school, grade 5 is considered elementary, and so they're part of the adoption for Studies Weekly and Brain Pop. Grade 6, they had the least amount of changes to their standards, and so they decided to just do an updated version of the McGraw-Hill curriculum that they were currently using. And then because our teachers understand the importance of literacy in all subject areas, they have selected a couple novels that tie to the social studies standards. At the middle school, they selected HMH curriculum. It will be mostly digital. There are some classroom copies. What makes this curriculum unique is that when you purchase one student license, you get all the domains for social studies. Normally with the other vendors, you have to purchase American history, separate license, world history, a separate license. When you buy this new package from HMH, you get all of the licenses, which works perfect because now our middle school teachers are more like elementary teachers. They have to teach all the domains of social studies as opposed to just teaching geography and American history. And then our 8th grade teachers selected a novel as well. At the high school level, world history and world geography jumped on board with the HMH curriculum for the same reason, because they can have access to all of the domains. They will have digital-only curriculum. And then our American history and American government teachers have quite a few resources that they've used over the years that they really liked, and so they just wanted a supplemental resource, but they picked a great one. It's called Gale for Educators. It's a digital database. It will be used by all teachers, grades 9 through 12, in all subject areas, and all students will have access to it. Sociology is going with BFW, print and digital, and psychology is going with HMH. And with all our adoptions, we always offer professional development, and so the elementary curriculum team will receive some summer hours paid, and so will the 5 through 12 social studies teachers, along with some quarterly curriculum development work sessions during the 24 and 25 school year as they're preparing to fully implement the standards. So the total dollar amount of this package is $553,933.50. I'll take any questions you might have.
No, I just want to say thank you for your leadership in this area. It's been a long process, and we appreciate everything you've done to get us here. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase and 7-year adoption of the junior K-12 social studies curriculum as presented, please.
So move.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Items under consent, 2 through 6, I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Under personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 23, please.
So move.
There's been a first and a second. All of those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. There are multiple items there under information only, mainly having to do with transfers. That takes us to communication. There are a couple thank you notes there for your review, which takes us to board reports. And does anyone have a formal board report they would like to share this evening?
Yes, I would just like to make a brief note that the Transportation Committee met last Thursday afternoon, and we discussed bus passes for the upcoming school year, or upcoming 24-25 school year. And what we came up with is that out-of-district open enrollment students will be paying $325 per student for the full year with no limit as far as, or no cap, while the K through 12 kids who live in district and are 5 miles from the school that they're going to attend, that moved up from $150 to $175 per student with a cap of $400 for a family of 3 or more. Just so you know, we sort of dissected this up. It might be, oh my gosh, but when it comes down to it, it's like 50 cents for the bus to pick you up in the morning and 50 cents for the bus to take you home at night. So it's really less than a can of pop. So that was our transportation meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Odie. We met for Teach Well Alternative Ed. Everything's going well there, and nothing earth-shattering to report. Anyone else have any kind of reports tonight? All right, hearing none, it looks like that takes us to the end of our scheduled agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, and thank you, everyone, for coming tonight.